Well, I think it's quite good. Yeah, I like the Polish fans, and I got the feeling that they like me as well.
Okay, so since Janne Ahonen had won actually the Crystal Globe 2 times in a row, no other ski jumper managed to achieve the same. And actually, as you said, you would like to win the Crystal Globe this season. So what do you think is the reason that a ski jumper who wins a Crystal Globe in one season and even maintains their top form doesn't win it again in the next season?
Well, I think it's mainly because ski jumping is really hard. I think everyone can jump short, but it's really hard to jump long. So I think that's one factor, and yeah, it's also changing a bit. Some years you have small changes in the rules, and that can make it harder to jump if you have equipment rules that really fit you and your body and your jumping style, and that is changed. You can have some problems adjusting to the new setup types or stuff like that. So I think it's the biggest reason is that it's really hard or ski jumping is really hard and the level is quite high. And then I think we also have a few really good jumpers who have been or had some of their X factor lost because of small changes in the regulations.
And how is it with the confidence as an athlete? Do you think that maybe there's a bit too much civility in sports nowadays? I mean, competing is not only about proving yourself, but it's also about rivalry. And you are the only one who openly says that your goal is to win, while others are often afraid to talk it directly. Because sometimes the confident approach is seen as a cocky or conceited. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know. Probably sometimes I should say less to the media, but I'm also I appreciate it when other athletes are honest if I'm interested in their sport, and then for me it's a bit of the same. It comes naturally to just tell what my goal is. I don't care if others know my goal.
I would also like to ask you about the fluctuation of your shape since Ruka. You were jumping well in Russia, and after that your jumps were very different. And maybe you know what caused that?
Well, I think I know. It's I've had some struggles in the in-run position and also some struggles with getting the consistency in the in-run position, and that's caused a bit of really hard on it to get it back to a stable place, and then we'll see. I think Ingeberg was quite promising, and also Klingenthal, and hopefully I can build on that and regain some confidence.
Okay, and actually speaking about the fluctuation, I would like to ask about the instability of Norwegians as a team. Suddenly there are competitions where up to 5 Norwegians are in the top 10. And then, for example, Tande, who had a problem with qualifying for the competition in Engelberg. What does that look like from your point of view?
Well, I've spent some time thinking about this, and I think I think one factor is that we or a difference from previous seasons is that we haven't had 1.5 months in Trondheim training on ice tracks, and Holmenkollen is not open for summer jumping, and I think those things might have caused us to have a little bit fewer jumps coming into the season, so that I don't know, we sort of had to figure out our jumping in competition, and that's not the best. But yeah, travel is also quite hard at this point, and yeah, but I'm a bit surprised as well because it looked really good before the season started, and then we had a bit of warm weather in Norway, and yeah, a bit fewer jumps on ice than at least what I would have preferred. So yeah, I think that might be a factor.
And actually, looking back on your unfortunate statement about Kamil Stoch from a while ago, and perhaps more about the reaction of some of the Polish fans, how is your relationship with the Polish fans right now? Are they still favorable to you? Maybe you have already managed to repair your image in some way.
Well, I think it's quite good. Yeah, I like the Polish fans, and I got the feeling that they like me as well. But obviously, it was an unfortunate event, and things were dragged, way out of proportion. But it went over quite fast, but it wasn't too pleasant when it was going on. But afterwards, it's been we are quite. I think we are back to the good relationship we had prior.
And actually, also speaking again about the Ruka, because after your World Cup start in Ruka, you completed some training after the competition, following some problems you have experienced. So was it that time in Ruka that helped you jump better later? Did you manage to fix your mistakes there?
I at least got some more information about what works and what doesn't work, because the biggest problem was there was a disconnect between what I tried to do and what I actually did, and that's quite hard it's quite hard to explain, but if you know what the problem is, you can fix it, but you have to know that it's changed. I've tried to be very curious about why different things happened. Ruka was very strange, but the day when I got the training, the day after, I figured some things out, and also maybe having the pressure of a competition and all that, and without that it was a bit easier. But I think it has taken quite some time to figure everything out. Who knows if I figured it out now, but at least in Engelberg this weekend, I had my best jump without thinking too much about different stuff in the in-run position. So the final round on Sunday was the jump I I tried the least to perform good, and that was the best jump. And yeah, that for me was a very positive sign that things is going, or it will be easier in the near future to get my in-run position correctly.
So Adam Małysz also made a statement regarding your problems, and he was speculating that you were testing something new. Is that true?
Well, if I was testing something new, I don't think I would have said. So who knows?
Okay. Speaking again about that training in Ruka, you have probably heard about the troublesome situation in Polish ski jumping. Do you think that when there are some problems with athletes who had previously shown they can perform well, is it worthwhile for them to calmly complete some training jumps on the hill that gave them trouble? Because we know you can't forget how to jump. Maybe that's a good way to find what's missing.
Well, I think it's different for every athlete. I think, yeah, you can get really positive feedback from competing if you manage to get a good jump and you're suddenly 20, 30 places up on the result list. But if you know how good you can be, I think it's better to train in peace and in calm conditions and in a hill you might know, and maybe actually in a hill you know, because there you know how it should look, so it's easier to see what you do different. But ski jumping is really tough in that way, because you have to figure out what the main problem is, and to figure out what the main problem is, you have to look sometimes quite. It might take some time to figure out what the main problem is, and then when you know what the problem is, it's easier to find the right solution. But yeah, it might take some time, and it might be one session and you're back to where you should be. So I think it's hard and fascinating that you can suddenly have David Kubacki at this time, who has been so stable and so good for 5 years, and also jumping quite okay in the summer. Yeah, me in Ruka and Bishla, and also sort of in Nizhny Tagil and Klingenthal as well. I had to do a lot of strange things to get my jumping correctly there. So it's strange and fascinating how much it can change. And yeah, that's the main reason I love ski jumping, that you have to be so focused in everything you do, and hopefully those struggling can manage to enjoy the process of coming back into shape.
Talking also about Klingenthal, your coach Steckel got tested positive for COVID, and does his absence from the coaching nest affect the ski jumpers, or does the coach perhaps play the biggest role outside of the competitions?
Well, he's been doing his normal normal work because he hasn't been too badly affected, luckily. And in everything from planning the trips and all the stuff he usually do, he has been able to continue with. In Engelberg, it was a bit different because as a precaution, we changed the whole training team. So we had one coach, and then Marius's dad and my dad was was helping us together with one other from the federation. So in Engelberg it was very different, but I think we have a strong. We have many good coaches in Norway, and they focus and now they talk good to each other, and they have a good communication, and that makes it easy to change from one coach to another because they know everything about your process. They have different eyes, and they might see some different things, but all in all, I think we are very well prepared for a situation like this, and at least for me, it hasn't been too big factor.
Also, Daniel Andre Tandem was on the podium in Klingenthal. It's a big deal for a ski jumper after such a terrible fall. Do you maybe know what helped achieve this rapid comeback of his after that scary experience?
Well, he doesn't remember anything, and I think that is quite good. And yeah, he's been really good at staying focused in the recovery training, and he has ski jumping in his DNA, I think. And yeah, he's been really good in staying focused on what he can achieve and what he can do, and you can probably see that he might lack a few jumps or a few hundred jumps over the summer, and that affecting how stable everything is. But it was amazing to see him jump those good jumps again, and yeah, it was just amazing.
Okay, so actually Christmas is coming, and may I teach you how to say Merry Christmas in Polish to all the Polish people watching us?
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay, so it's like only 2 words, but it's wesołych świąt.
I tried to say it in Japanese yesterday, and that was a lot easier. But one more time.
Wesołych świąt.
Wesołych?
Wesołych.
Wesołych?
Mhm. Świąt.
Świąt?
Świąt.
Świąt?
Mhm.
Wesołych świąt?
Yeah.
Wesołych świąt?
Correct.
Is it okay?
It is okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so I wanted to wish you Merry Christmas and
Yeah.
thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Good luck.